It's always happens with all my films, all my work. Before it gets released, there is so much concern. People will ban my film, governments will do something, somebody will go to court, everything. I didn't want people to get misled. I wanted people to understand that we all revere what we have as, faith, dharma, panth, vichar, everything. I was really happy when eventually the Supreme Court, gave the verdict that let CBI kind of look into it, and an independent agency should. So the whole nepotism theory is not going to work, because eventually it has to commercially work.
We are in conversation with filmmaker Prakash Jha as we discuss his upcoming show Ashram about exploitative godmen that play on blind faith. So Prakash ji, welcome to Hindustan Times.
Pleasure.
It was the trailer is extremely interesting. We are looking forward to the series. We see shades of so many real life cell-style godmen in Baba Nirala. But what was your starting point?
No, actually, you'll be surprised. I was not so much interested in Baba or life of Baba. The story which was given to me or brought to me by the platform, MX Player, was a very detailed story about actually the faith people put into these, anybody. In our country, if somebody walks into a village and acts like a doctor, he probably knows the name of 3 or 4 medicines. People start believing in him, and he can start his clinic. And he is a quack, and there will be guys lining up every morning at him for cure. So in our country, we believe, we have put our faith into these people who, exploit us, who create kind of like, a situation where we get bound to them, and we give them tan, man, dhan, everything we give them. Now, this story is about one such person or a group of criminals who actually create this atmosphere, and who actually are like, whether it is Hindu dharma or any other dharma, dharma has got like, such enormous establishment and enormous kind of like, we have such rich cultural, religious, and, the whole spiritual world, which is true and which people are following, and we have had gurus, like living gurus of the Peets or the Akhadas, or sants, which enormous number of them, who we all revere and we all have faith in. But these criminals, they actually, they use their kind of like, their conmanship, and they kind of like exploit, and they actually bring disrepute to, our belief, our faith, our religion. So this is about this world which gets created because of the wrong faith that people put into the hands of such people.
Interestingly, आप लोगों ने disclaimer trailer से पहले निकाला था.
Exactly, because I didn't want people to get misled. I wanted people to understand that we all revere what we have as, faith, dharma, panth, vichar, everything that we have. I am myself, I am a Hindu, and I am a Brahmin, and I worship every day, and my mother gave me the mantra. So I know, fully understand, like, what is the, how rich is our, our spiritual world. But then there are people who sort of like, who bring disrepute to our kind of faith and the real dharma or real spiritualism. And that must be kind of like, spoken to. That must be kind of like, understood. And this was a very interesting story as to how one small criminal finds an opportunity and kind of like, creates this world, and everybody falls for him. So, it's not only him, but it's also the janta, people who put their faith.
So ashram is more about us.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's more about us. and giving an opportunity to a criminal to kind of like why are you doing it? Because you don't have faith in yourself, because you are not strong, because you are insecure, because you are afraid that something wrong will happen to you, so you go to somebody. Who is this somebody? He is not a guru, he is not a dharmadhikari, he is not somebody who has the knowledge, he is not going to show you the path, he is only going to use you, exploit you, and make you a bakra.
And it has happened so many times, but we refuse to learn. So
because of our own mistake, because of our own because we want shortcuts. We don't want to kind of like really go in search of the real guru. We all want kind of like take away food, to take away religion.
My next question is again about Baba Nirala and the man who's playing it. Bobby Deol is an unusual choice for this role, given the image we have had of him. So, what made you zero in on Bobby?
Exactly that reason, unusual choice. He came to my mind because I thought his personality and his look, and I always had faith that he is a damn good actor. So when he liked the story which I narrated to him, I was so happy. I said, God, it's fantastic, because nobody will believe you.
Well, once the series does come out, real life comparisons will be drawn. In fact, after the trailer, they were drawn. So, is there any concern there?
It's always happens with all my films, all my work. Before it gets released, there is so much concern. People will ban my film, governments will do something, somebody will go to court, everything. But once the films get released, everybody is quiet. So that's what is going to happen.
Great. But don't you think the world has also changed? Because what we saw with, for example, the Gunjan Saxena trailer, the Gunjan Saxena film or the Sadak 2 trailer is that they were banned for reasons which had nothing to do with the merit of the film or the show itself. So do you see the world in which you are releasing your film changing gradually or in fact all too sudden?
I think the world remains the same. People are behaving exactly in the same manner. Now what they have got is they have got an arm to be able to express. The social media gives them the voice.
Mm-hmm.
The saner people, the people with civilized language will behave in that particular manner. People who do not use that language, people who are used to rough kind of like communication, they will use that kind of language. Sometimes it is done deliberately to quieten people who kind of like get scared or whatever it is. But fortunately for me, I'm not on any social media. I'm not on Facebook. I have a Twitter account, but I hardly manage it. I hardly look at it. It's only when somebody else manages it. It's only used for communicating about films. I don't look into it because I have found that basic necessary information about everything that is happening is what comes from the news channels, etc., which one gets. And that also news channels these days are like mostly fake. I'm sorry to say that, but they're mostly fake. So you decipher, you try and understand, and I look into stories which are happening around, and I enjoy doing that, and that is what is my forte. I try to read the stories, I try to understand people. I enjoy the story where a father in Madhya Pradesh yesterday drove his son 85 kilometers on a bicycle so that his supplementary exam the son would miss that. It's exactly like Bucci, the father in my film Pariksha. So those are things I enjoy, and I'm happy with that.
So your answer to all the negativity is to focus on hope and positivity. Well, that's a good answer in this day and age.
Absolutely.
Talking about lines where lines were blurred between the fake news, real news, what is happening is the insider outsider debate which started in the aftermath of Sushant Singh Rajput's death. What is your take on it? I would like a saner voice talking about it.
First of all, I mean, I was deeply pained because, a life, such young, promising life, lost at such, young age. And I felt what a waste. I felt deeply for his father because he was the only son of his father. And the boy has died, and the father will have to live his death every single day. It was very painful for me to have that. And unfortunately, I had never kind of met Sushant. We never interacted, but I liked his work. And at times when I liked his work, I used to communicate to him through friends. Please tell him that I loved his performance in Son Chidaiya, or in Mahi, or in sort of like Kai Poche. He's the films that he really kind of So offhand, like my daughter who is on social media, or friends or people in office used to talk like about all that was happening as far as the investigation was going on, and how things were stretching, and how there was not, a very ambiguous kind of theory is being floated. And I felt that, it should not happen, and a closure should come. And so when I was really happy when eventually the Supreme Court yesterday, gave the verdict that let CBI kind of look into it, and an independent agency should take it. At least, there will be a closure. But whatever you say, Sushant is not going to come back. That he is lost. Now, what satisfaction is a kind of a disclosure is going to bring to everybody? I hope it quietens things down. But it's really sad, the outsider, insider, etc., because I have never felt that. In all these years at the industry, I came from a village in Bihar, and I landed in Mumbai, way back in the 70s. And I continue to make films and do work that I like. And I am very fortunate that, very established big actors and big production houses and big kind of like distributors, they've all worked with me. And I can also make a small film like Pariksha. And I can also mount a big series like, Ashram. Ashram looks, you must have seen the trailer. And let me promise you that it's going to be huge. So I have enjoyed, and I have never felt, that. I mean, I have worked with first-time actors. I've worked with established actors. So, the whole negativity about, these things happening is also kind of like, very disturbing. But then I look at it and I say, oh, Jarur, this period, this time that the world is facing, the COVID time, is a depressing time. We have all been brought to our knees, and we are not able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And maybe because of this negativity, this depression, a whole lot of negative things are happening, a whole lot of negative thoughts are coming. Once, we begin to move, I think things will be better. Things will be, and of course there is established actors, established producers, established directors or distributors. They will want their sons and kins to, carry on with the business or become actors or whatever. But again, time and again, it has been proven that even if you get that opportunity, it's not like more than once or twice that people will tolerate you. If the people don't connect with you, you are thrown out. So the whole nepotism theory is not going to work, because eventually it has to commercially work. And if it commercially works, then whether you are whose son or whose daughter, eventually kind of you are a good actor and you're connecting with people. So it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I don't really kind of subscribe to that theory. I think such things will happen. If an industrialist doesn't promote his son to take over the business, what is he going to do? will you call it nepotism? So that is always there, and that will remain. But at the same time, don't forget that this industry has given opportunity to tons and tons of newcomers, and who, given the opportunity, have made great kind of strides and progress and success. I mean, look at Manoj Bajpayee.
Yeah.
And I am fortunate to have done that. Or even Shah Rukh Khan, he came as an outsider. He's not an insider. So it's that should not have, that sort of negativity should not have been there. But then I forgive everybody, because we are going through a very bad, depressing time, and all this will pass.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed there. You had said some time back that releasing a film can take life out of you. It is easier being an artist, but getting a film out is very difficult. Do you think, with OTTs coming of age, and they have come of age during the pandemic, has the process become more democratic, or we are still there?
Well, I will talk about it only when we come to a period when the multiplex cinemas and OTT run parallelly. That is not the case at this point of time. At this point of time, I had to release, and of course, I got a good offer from OTT ZEE5, and I said, okay, fine, let people see it. And so we released Pariksha there. But I don't know if I would have done the same thing if the multiplexes were running. So when the choice will be decided, or the facility will be decided, only when the two platforms are running simultaneously. So wait for it till the final judgment or the comment comes.
But do you see that happening in maybe next few years, 2-3 years?
Yeah, of course it will happen now that people have started releasing, people have started making films for OTT, and the same films can sort of, like, we are negotiating with OTT. They have come to us with kind of like, for filmmaking deals where, we can take a call at the end of the day, whether to go in for cinema first or whether to go as a Prime TV, so Prime OTT show first. So this thing will come, but I think the process will mature once cinemas also kind of begin to run, because cinemas are not going to go away in our country. Cinemas, once the COVID thing normalizes, we'll be back into cinemas. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I can't wait for one. Would love to be back in a theater and watching a film. But getting back to what you had said, releasing a film can take the life out of you. What, if you will elucidate your point?
Well, releasing a film, like making a film, is one part, but releasing a film, to be able to take care of a good publicity, to be able to take care of a good release, a number of cinemas, it's extremely, extremely expensive these days, everything. And also after you have made the film, the whole process of releasing is time consuming. It drains you out, so you need a separate section for doing that. But then you don't have kind of like, satisfaction whether the bunch of people you have entrusted the distribution will be able to carry it out properly. So you also involved in it. So I get very kind of like, stressed and nervous when the release of the film comes in. OTT, fortunately, they are the ones who are doing the marketing. You don't really have to do the publicity in the way that we used to do for films. Like, I mean, if we were releasing this series and the times were normal, I would be sitting in Delhi talking to you, face to face. So, well, we are all adjusting to the times, and the technology is helping us. So let's see what happens.
I thoroughly enjoyed Pariksha. I'm looking forward to Ashram. What else do you have for us in the coming months?
Well, Ashram 2 is in process. 2 more films are being planned, which one is being planned to be shot early next year. One film where I have acted is already ready. I shall be talking to you next month about that. It's beginning to take festival rounds. So a lot.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time, and best wishes for your upcoming endeavors.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.